There are several types of Romex connectors available, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. Firstly, push-in connectors, also known as insulation displacement connectors, are easy and quick to use, requiring no tools. Simply strip the wire and push it into the connector. They are suitable for low-load applications, such as lighting fixtures. Secondly, wire nuts are traditional and widely used connectors. Twist them onto the stripped wire, providing a secure and insulated connection. They are available in various sizes to accommodate multiple wires. Thirdly, spring lock connectors are similar to push-in connectors, but with a spring mechanism that holds the wire in place. This offers a secure connection with minimal effort. They are suitable for medium load applications such as outlets and switches. Fourthly, lever lock connectors are push-on connectors with a lever that locks the wire in place. This provides a secure and fast connection, especially for larger wire gauges. They are suitable for heavy load applications such as appliances. The choice of Romex connector depends on several factors. Firstly, wire gauge. Different connectors are designed for specific wire gauges. Be sure to choose a connector that is compatible with the wire you are using. Secondly, load requirements. Higher load applications require more secure connectors. If you are wiring a high-power appliance, you will need to use a connector that is rated for the load. Thirdly, ease of installation. Push-in connectors offer convenience while wire nuts may require more time to tighten. Consider the amount of time and effort you are willing to spend on installation when choosing a connector. Fourthly, cost. Wire nuts are generally more affordable than other types of connectors. If you are on a budget, wire nuts may be a good option. Finally, personal preference. Some electricians may prefer certain connectors based on experience or familiarity. If you have experience with a particular type of connector, you may prefer to use it. For junction boxes, spring lock or wire nuts are commonly used, as they offer a secure and reliable connection. For panels, lever lock connectors are recommended, as they can handle higher loads and larger wire gauges. Ultimately, the best type of Romex connector for your application will depend on your specific needs and preferences. Always follow local electrical codes and safety regulations when working with electrical wiring. When selecting Romex connectors, it's crucial to consider the amperage rating of the circuit you're working with. The connector must be rated to handle the maximum current that the circuit is designed to carry. Using a connector with a lower amperage rating than the circuit can lead to overheating, melting, and potentially a fire hazard. Check the connector's packaging or manufacturer's specifications to ensure it meets the amperage requirements of your circuit. Also, ensure that the connector is listed and labeled by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or AL. This indicates that the connector has been tested and meets safety standards. Pay close attention to the wire gauge range that the connector is designed for. Using a connector with a wire gauge outside of its specified range can result in a loose connection, which can lead to arcing and overheating. For example, if a connector is designed for 12 American wire gauge and 14 American wire gauge wire, do not use it with 10 American wire gauge or 16 American wire gauge wire. Always refer to the connector's packaging or manufacturer's specifications for the correct wire gauge range. It is important to properly prepare the wires before inserting them into the connector. Strip the insulation from the wires to the correct length as specified by the connector's instructions. Ensure that the stripped wires are clean and free of any corrosion or damage. When using wire nuts, twist the wires together tightly before screwing on the wire nut. Make sure that the wire nut is securely fastened and that no bare wire is exposed. When using push-in or lever lock connectors, insert the wires fully into the connector until they are securely locked in place. Give the wires a gentle tug to ensure that they are properly connected. Never reuse Romex connectors. Once a connector has been used, it may be damaged or weakened, and it may not provide a secure connection. Always use new connectors for each installation. It's also important to inspect Romex connectors regularly for any signs of damage or wear. If you find any damaged connectors, replace them immediately. Common signs of damage include cracks, discoloration, and loose connections. When working with electrical wiring, always turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker box before starting any work. Use a voltage tester to verify that the power is off before touching any wires. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses, to protect yourself from electrical shock and other hazards. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary safety precautions. Always consult the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and local electrical codes for specific requirements and regulations regarding Romex connectors and electrical wiring. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for safe electrical installations, and it is important to follow these guidelines to ensure the safety of yourself and others. Some specific NEC articles that may be relevant to Romex connectors include Article 314.16, which covers box fill calculations, Article 334, which covers non-metallic sheath cable, or Romex, and Article 406.6, which covers receptacle faceplates. In addition to the NEC, local electrical codes may have additional requirements or regulations that you must follow. Check with your local building department or electrical inspector to ensure that you are in compliance with all applicable codes. When selecting Romex connectors for a specific application, consider the environment in which the connectors will be used. For example, if the connectors will be exposed to moisture, you will need to use connectors that are rated for wet locations. Similarly, if the connectors will be exposed to high temperatures, you will need to use connectors that are rated for high temperatures. Using the wrong type of connector for the environment can lead to corrosion, failure, and potentially a fire hazard. It is also important to consider the type of enclosure in which the connectors will be installed. Different types of enclosures may require different types of connectors. For example, metal enclosures typically require connectors with a grounding means, while non-metallic enclosures may not. Always refer to the enclosure manufacturer's specifications for the correct type of connector to use. When installing Romex connectors in a panel, be sure to leave enough slack in the wires to allow for future maintenance or modifications. Excessively tight wires can be difficult to work with and can put stress on the connectors. However, do not leave too much slack, as this can create a cluttered panel and make it difficult to trace wires. A good rule of thumb is to leave about 6 inches of slack for each wire. When routing Romex cable through walls or ceilings, be sure to protect the cable from damage. Use cable staples to secure the cable to the framing members, and be careful not to over-tighten the staples, as this can damage the cable. When passing Romex cable through metal studs or framing members, use grommets or bushings to protect the cable from abrasion. Also, be sure to maintain proper clearances between Romex cable and heat-producing equipment, such as recessed lighting fixtures. The NEC specifies minimum clearances for Romex cable to prevent overheating. When making connections in a junction box, be sure to properly ground the box. Grounding the box helps to protect against electrical shock and provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source. Connect the grounding conductor from the Romex cable to the grounding screw in the box. If the box is metal, also connect the grounding jumper wire from the grounding screw to the box itself. When working with aluminum wire, be sure to use connectors that are specifically designed for use with aluminum wire. Aluminum wire expands and contracts more than copper wire, and using the wrong type of connector can lead to loose connections and overheating. Look for connectors that are marked ALCU, which indicates that they are suitable for use with both aluminum and copper wire. When tightening screws on Romex connectors, be careful not to over-tighten them. Over-tightening screws can damage the connector and the wires, and it can also make it difficult to remove the wires later. Use a torque screwdriver to ensure that the screws are tightened to the correct torque value as specified by the connector's instructions. Regularly inspect your electrical system for any signs of problems such as flickering lights, buzzing sounds, or trip breakers. If you notice any of these problems, investigate the cause and correct it promptly. Ignoring electrical problems can lead to more serious issues, such as electrical fires. If you are not comfortable troubleshooting electrical problems yourself, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. It is always best to err on the side of caution when it comes to electrical safety. When selecting Romex connectors, it is essential to consider the wire type being used. While Romex cable typically contains copper conductors, there are instances where aluminum conductors are present, particularly in older installations or specific applications. Copper and aluminum have different electrical properties, and using connectors not rated for the specific conductor material can lead to connection failures, overheating, and potential fire hazards. Connectors marked CU are designed for copper conductors, while those marked AL are for aluminum. Connectors marked AL-CU are suitable for both copper and aluminum conductors. When working with aluminum conductors, it is crucial to use connectors and installation techniques specifically designed for aluminum to prevent oxidation and ensure a reliable connection. Antioxidant compounds are often used to prevent corrosion at the connection points. Furthermore, the torque specifications for aluminum connectors may differ from those for copper connectors, so always consult the manufacturer's instructions. The type of Romex cable also influences connector selection. Non-metallic sheath cable, or NM cable, is the most common type of Romex used in residential wiring. However, other types of Romex cable exist, such as UF cable, which is designed for underground applications. The connector must be compatible with the cable sheathing material and construction. UF cable, for instance, requires connectors that can provide a watertight seal to prevent moisture from entering the enclosure. When selecting connectors for outdoor applications, ensure they are rated for wet locations and are resistant to corrosion. In addition to the standard types of Romex connectors, there are also specialized connectors designed for specific purposes. For example, there are connectors that provide strain relief, preventing the cable from being pulled or damaged at the connection point. These connectors are particularly useful in applications where the cable is subject to movement or vibration. There are also connectors with built-in surge protection, which can help to protect sensitive electronic equipment from voltage spikes. These connectors are often used in areas with frequent power outages or surges. The size of the junction box or electrical panel also affects connector selection. The NEC specifies minimum box fill requirements, which limit the number of conductors and connectors that can be installed in a box. Overfilling a box can lead to overheating and make it difficult to work on the wiring. When selecting connectors, consider their size and how much space they will take up in the box. Compact connectors can help to maximize the available space and ensure compliance with box fill requirements. The method of connecting the Romex cable to the connector is also an important consideration. Some connectors use screws to secure the cable, while others use compression fittings or other mechanical means. The connection method should be reliable and easy to use, and it should provide a secure connection that will not loosen over time. When using screw-type connectors, be sure to tighten the screws to the correct torque value, as specified by the manufacturer's instructions. Over-tightening the screws can damage the connector or the wires, while under-tightening can lead to a loose connection. The type of tool used to install the connector can also affect the quality of the connection. Use the correct tool for the job and follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. For example, when using a crimping tool to install a compression connector, be sure to use the correct die size and crimp the connector to the specified pressure. Using the wrong tool or technique can result in a faulty connection. In addition to selecting the correct Romex connectors, it is also important to install them properly. Poor installation can lead to connection failures, overheating, and potential fire hazards. Before installing any connectors, carefully read the manufacturer's instructions and follow them precisely. Ensure that the wires are properly stripped, that the connections are tight, and that the connectors are securely fastened. Inspect the completed installation to ensure that everything is in order and that there are no loose wires or damaged connectors. When working with electrical wiring, always prioritize safety. Turn off the power to the circuit before starting any work, and use appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. It is always better to be safe than sorry when it comes to electricity.